Hello, I'm Erik Robey.
And I'm Karla Schaffer, and this is Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Today we'll tell you about an effort to put backpacks in every child's hands when school starts, and the new name for our community college's theater. Making headlines around the county, well, there's a new face at animal control. County Executive John Leopold announced this week that Robin Small has been hired as the new civilian administrator at the facility. Small is an Annapolis native and has spent her entire career in the field of animal welfare. Her first day on the job is August 18th. She worked her way up to Director of Operations from Office Assistant. County Executive Leopold said of the hire, "Robin Small is a welcome addition to animal control. I look forward to the new ideas she'll bring to improve our adoption rate, customer service, and the use of volunteers." Small is a pet owner herself. She has 2 dogs, a Great Dane named Millie, and an American Staffordshire Terrier named Tyson. Maybe they'll be making appearances at the front counter in the future. Welcome aboard, Robin, and we hope to have you on the show soon.
Well, you know, a lot of things that work in county government comes from the ideas of individual citizens. And we have a good one for you this week. Shirley Kalazak of Glen Burnie sent a note to County Executive Leopold because she was concerned about how budget cuts have affected our senior centers. She suggested that the Department of Aging and Disabilities appoint a floater who would travel from center to center as needed. This would help make sure centers were fully staffed if a director, for example, had a doctor's appointment. It was such a good idea that we made it happen. Deidre Taylor, a beloved former assistant director at the O'Malley Senior Center Annex in Odenton, has been tapped to put out those fires. County Executive Leopold said of the position, "Some of our best ideas come from citizens who know their community better than anyone. We think that Ms. Shirley's idea will make a difference in providing excellent services to our seniors here in the county." Deidre will be helping out at all 7 senior activity centers, and we thank Shirley Kalazak again for her suggestion.
Well, this week the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to 1,373 calls for service. This included more than 1,040 emergency medical calls and 112 fire calls. Firefighters responded to the scene of an apparent drowning in South County and worked to extinguish a dwelling fire where 1 person was injured in North County. With us now to tell us more about these incidents is Division Chief Michael Cox of the Anne Arundel County Fire Department. Chief?
Thanks, Karla. The first incident occurred around 2:20 p.m. on Sunday, August 7th, 2011, when Anne Arundel County firefighters responded to a reported drowning in the 3900 block of White Marsh Lane in the Mayo area of the county. The first unit to arrive on the scene found a male patient estimated to be in his late 50s to early 60s, unconscious, unresponsive, and in cardiac arrest. CPR was being performed by civilians at the scene. Witnesses told the first arriving units that the victim had jumped into the water to retrieve a bag or something of that nature from the water. As the victim began to swim back, he started to become distressed and slipped below the surface of the water. Civilians at the scene immediately entered the water and began a search for the victim. Moments later, the civilians emerged from the water with the victim, who was in cardiac arrest. Once on shore, the civilians began CPR on the patient and continued until the arrival of emergency responders. The patient was ultimately transported to Anne Arundel Medical Center in Annapolis, where he was listed in critical condition. He later died as a result of his injuries. In a second incident this week, county firefighters worked to extinguish a house fire in the 500 block of Jones Road. This incident occurred on Thursday, August 11th, 2011, around 8:56 a.m. The first units to arrive on the scene reported visible fire from the rear of a 1-story single-family dwelling. At that time, an interior fire attack was initiated, taking more than 43 firefighters about 30 minutes to bring the all-hands incident under control. There was 1 occupant home at the time of the fire, and they were able to escape without injury. However, the occupant was treated and transported to the hospital for a medical emergency they suffered after the fire. Karla?
Thanks, Chief. County police are still investigating the drowning incident, although preliminary information indicates it was an accident. County fire investigators are investigating the dwelling fire on Jones Road. They have reported that fire, which originated in the interior of the dwelling, caused an estimated $100,000 in damages. The exact cause remains under investigation.
Well, folks, there's more Week in Review to come. Take a look at the community calendar for what's happening around your county. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
County Executive John Leopold wants to remind all residents that an animal should never be left unattended in a vehicle during the hot summer months. Even on a mild day with the windows cracked, the temperature inside will rise quickly, causing imminent harm or death to pets. If an animal control officer sees an animal left unattended in a vehicle, a criminal citation will be written, and the owner of the vehicle must appear in court and face a potential fine of $500 and 30 days in jail. Don't put your animal in harm's way, even on a mild day. Don't leave any pets unattended in vehicles.
Welcome back. Anne Arundel Community College is celebrating the dedication of its new Robert E. Kaufman Theater. At an event this week, the college remembered the professor emeritus who helped the theater and performing arts department for more than 30 years. He inspired countless students and colleagues and helped design the theater. Kaufman passed away in March. The event in his honor featured memories and music associated with Kaufman, who is affectionately known as Chief. Selected scenes from his memorable shows were also shown. If you missed the event, you can get your own copy by donating to the Robert Kaufman Scholarship Fund. You can send your donation to the Anne Arundel Community College Foundation, 101 College Parkway in Arnold, Maryland. That's 21012. And it sounded like it was a great event for a great guy.
Well, Mary Felter has returned from vacation and she has an important request for volunteers. When tax time comes, we want to have an army of people ready to help our senior citizens. Mary?
Thank you, Karla. Today my guest is Kim Yates, who's the director of our RSVP program, and I'm going to let her explain what that all is. I asked her on the program so she could talk about the volunteer programs that need volunteers in the next coming months. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mary. I'm glad to be here.
Tell me a little bit about what RSVP stands for so our listeners will know and our viewers will be able to understand.
Okay, RSVP is an acronym for Retired Senior Volunteer Program. And what we do is we recruit volunteers in different areas of the county to perform different functions for the seniors and the disabled.
And where do they volunteer? Do they go to schools or hospitals, or where do they volunteer?
We have volunteers in schools. We have them at the senior centers. We have them in museums. We have them just about anywhere you can think of. The Red Cross, the Cancer Society, thrift stores. We have about 250 volunteers.
That's a good number.
Yeah.
Yes. We want people to join them, right?
We need more.
You have a program coming up. It's called VITA. Let our viewers know what VITA is.
VITA is the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And what happens is our volunteers perform tax services for seniors and low-income individuals that don't make over $42,000 a year. We perform this in the senior centers, the 7 senior centers throughout the county. And we start during tax season, and we're looking for volunteers desperately.
And you're looking for volunteers now because you have a training program for them?
Yes, the IRS trains them and the state of Maryland trains them. And we don't necessarily have to have a CPA or somebody that's, informed about taxes because we do all the training. So they will be well aware of what to do and how to, complete a tax return by the time, we're done.
And it's fairly simple tax returns. It's not really complicated. I mean, it's a 1040 simple form, right?
Yes, we don't do any itemization, no business taxes, no selling land, no real estate, nothing like that.
So it's really to help those who have a little bit of difficulty understanding what's going on with their taxes.
Right, and those that can't afford it.
That's true.
It's expensive.
Exactly.
And it's free.
And it's free, that's right. The volunteers are at the senior activity centers, and we have how many in the county did you say we have? 7. Okay, so they're all throughout the county. Mm-hmm. So people can volunteer to work at one that's closest to their home or something if they prefer. Right, and most do. Okay. Do the volunteers get any benefits, the RSVP benefits at all? I hear you have a luncheon every year for them? Yes, we have an annual luncheon, recognition luncheon, which is very nice. Usually at the Fontainebleau or Michael's, Mr. Leopold attends and some other, officials, and it's basically just to show our recognition for the efforts that they give through the year. We also offer supplemental insurance, liability, automobile, in case something would happen when they're volunteering for us. And I also understand you're looking for volunteers for 2 other programs. One is telephone reassurance, and the other is friendly visitor. Tell us about telephone reassurance first. Telephone reassurance, we're looking for both volunteers and clients. Okay. So if you know somebody that is older and frail, homebound, doesn't have family,
or is lonely, you know, that type of thing. We call them every day, 365 days a year, just to check on their well-being. And we have contact people, their contact people. If we don't get in touch with them after calling their contact people, we will call the Anne Arundel County Police to go out to make sure that they're okay. And it's a safety issue.
It's a safety issue. You call them what, between 7:30 in the morning and 10:30, or what are your hours that you need people to help?
7:30 to 10. The volunteer would, you know, call all the people during that time. A client, if they chose to join the program and be called, they could choose what half-hour increment they wanted during that time.
And if they're going to be out doing something else that day and so wouldn't be there to answer the phone, they can let you know that, right?
Yes, they can call in. Actually, we have people that just call in just to let us know that they're okay. And it helps for the family members of people that, you know, family members that live out of town to know that their parents are, you know, being taken care of and are safe.
Somebody's paying attention to them.
Yes.
And another one where you pay attention to people is the Friendly Visitor Program.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that.
This is a program where we recruit volunteers to go out to clients' homes once a week for 1 hour. They can do things as simple as just chit-chatting like we are, playing cards, doing puzzles. They can go grocery shopping if they choose. Just interaction to develop socialization for people that are lonely and isolated. And it's a wonderful program. And the clients as well as the volunteers are very stimulated by it. It's very gratifying.
I understand that you're looking for some men for this program as well, and that men can talk about their jobs, or they can talk about military experience, or share information on sports that they like, or something like that, so that the men can relate to other men sometimes.
Right. We try to match, you know, based on female to female, male to male. And right now I do need, you know, males more than females, but I need anybody really. But males would be great, you know, also because I have male clients that are, you know, looking for somebody to come spend time with them.
So if someone wants to volunteer either for VITA, telephone assurance, or Friendly Visitor, what direction do you give them? Do they come to your office, or do they make a phone call? What do they do?
They can call me at 410-222-6717 or 410-222-6713. They can also visit us on the website, which is
www.aacounty.org.
That's right.
/aging.
/aging.
We'll put that up on the screen for our viewers so that they'll know what that is. But why don't you repeat the telephone numbers again so people can write that down?
It's 410-222-6717 or 410-222-6713.
Well, thank you very much, Kim, for coming on the program today and letting people know about ways they can volunteer. We especially need volunteers now at the Department of Aging since we've had some severe cutbacks on some of our personnel. Yes. So we appreciate any help that we can get.
Yes, I would appreciate any help that I can get. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This is Mary Felter, Public Information Officer for the Anne Arundel County Department of Aging and Disabilities, and this has been Anne Arundel County Week in Review. Back to you, Karla.
Thanks, Mary. The Department of Aging and Disabilities provides this service every year, and it's very popular.
Tax time? It's only August.
I know.
We just filed our taxes. We're already putting people
together for taxes. We have to get a head start, Eric. She's recruiting volunteers now so that when it's time, we'll be ready.
All right. I heard you talking about wanting to go down there and get your taxes done.
I know. I was jealous. I was there before. I got to see everyone get them done.
I think they would let you, if they knew you were the Karla Schaffer from Week in Review, I think they'd take care of you.
I don't know if I qualify for the senior centers quite yet, Eric.
That's
maybe next year.
Touchy subject. I don't talk about that. Well, I'm going to move on to a better subject. This week, the Recreation and Park Spotlight shines brightly on beautiful waterfront Jonas Green Park in Annapolis, where our own Carolyn Ryan is enjoying the view. Carolyn, are the fish biting out there?
Thanks, Eric. Well, all of our Anne Arundel County parks have a couple of things in common. One, they are all beautiful, and two, they each have their own little unique personality traits. We are at one of the most picturesque parks, Jonas Green Park, which is right along the Severn River at the base of the Naval Academy Bridge. And I'm joined today by Chris Carroll, Chief of Park Operations. Thanks for being on the show, Chris.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Chris, give us a little overview. What is Jonas Green Park?
Jonas Green Park is considered one of our community parks, but in many ways it's a lot more. We are part of the Chesapeake Bay Gateways Network program, which is actually one of about 200 sites that are located throughout the entire Chesapeake Bay watershed and kind of teach the history and the story of the Chesapeake Bay. So we're excited to be part of that.
Great. What kinds of things can you do here at Jonas Green Park?
A lot of different things to do at Jonas Green Park. It's a beautiful location if you've never been here, right on the Severn River, gorgeous views of the surrounding area. Just up the hill from here, you can actually walk to the War Memorial, which salutes our veterans. On Jonas Green Park itself, we have fishing on a pier that goes out into the water. Maryland DNR helps us with that. We have picnicking here at the park, and it's also one of our spots to launch kayaks and canoes, so quite a bit to do.
Great. A little history on the park. How did you come up with the name for Jonas Green Park?
We kind of inherited the name, but the name actually goes back several hundred years. It was named after one of Maryland's first and foremost printers. He was actually involved with patriot causes and the Revolution, and worked for the Maryland state government, printing government materials. And probably an interesting aside, while he was famous in his own right and knew many of the politicians of the day and many of the patriots and dealt with the Sons of Liberty and that sort of thing, was his wife Anne was very interesting in that she had 14 children, and after her husband Jonas passed away, she actually took over the entire operation, which was unique for its time. So a little tidbit on the history there. It's a really neat spot to stop by and check out.
Great. Well, whether you have 14 children, no children, you can come out here, do some fishing, do some picnicking, and just enjoy a beautiful view. You can get more information on Jonas Green Park and all of our parks at www.aacounty.org/recparks. Thank you again for being on the show. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Well, it's hard to believe, but school is getting ready to start again. The Department of Social Services is getting ready by collecting school supplies for needy children. The Back to School program matches donors with individual kids. A donor who provides supplies ranging from $50 to $75 will be matched with a child's name, grade, school, and list of school supplies. To become a donor, you can call 410-222-4462. And that's not all that Social Services is up to. In this week's Community Spotlight, Marina Hardy is here to tell us more. Marina?
And I'm here today at Marley Elementary School, and I'm here with Tanya Steele with Department of Social Services and Principal Lattimore of Marley Elementary School in Glen Burnie. Thank you both for joining me today. And we're here to talk about the Back to School Backpack program that Department of Social Services runs to give children who wouldn't otherwise have the school supplies they need to start the school year and be successful, to give them backpacks and school supplies so that they can have a successful school year. Tanya, do you want to tell us some more about the program?
Yes, thank you. It's a partnership, as you said, between the Department of Social Services and Anne Arundel County Public Schools. And our mission is to make sure all of the kids who are on free and reduced lunch lists receive backpacks that are filled with school supplies. And that's to cover all of the elementary school kids in K through 5th grade in the county. And then also to provide middle school students with school supplies as well.
Great, thank you. And Principal Lattimore, can you tell us why this program is so important to your students?
I can't tell you how much the joy it brings to students to know that when they come to school on the first day, there's a brand new book bag for them with fresh new pencils and great notebooks and cool folders. Their faces just light up just knowing that they have these supplies for them. You know, we're facing hard times economically, and school supply prices are really high. And how much beneficial it is for students when they come back to school knowing these supplies are there for them from some great volunteer, maybe a teacher, a community member who shows their love for them by providing them with these great resources. So it's very important that these students are able to have these materials when they come back to school.
Fantastic. It certainly is a great program and give these kids the best foot forward and chance to have a great school year. Tanya, can you tell us about the needs for the program? I know even though school is just 2 weeks away, we still have a few needs left in the community. Can you address those?
Absolutely, thank you. We were really fortunate enough to be able to provide, through donations and donors, all of the backpacks for all of the elementary school kids in need. And so now we are focusing on our middle school kids who will receive supplies from the guidance counselors at the school. So what we're asking is for donors, if you're really so inclined to donate for the remaining of the August, is to send in a check or an Office Depot gift card, and that will be, the cash will be turned into a gift card, and the Office Depot gift cards will be sent directly to the guidance counselors at the neediest middle schools in the county. And you can send that to the Back to School program, 80 West Street, Annapolis, Maryland, 21401.
Fantastic. And I know we'd also discussed another fantastic program, which is haircuts. Yes, you know you need a pencil and a binder to show up the first day of school, but we forget these other things that so many of our county residents take for granted, such as showing up to school, looking your best, putting your best foot forward with a haircut. Can you tell us a great program we have going on here?
It's an amazing program by Hair Cuttery. It's called Share a Haircut. And it means that if you take your child that's 18 years or younger between now and Monday to any hair cuttery in the county, they're open 7 days a week, you can have walk-ins, that they will match that haircut for a child in need.
That's a fantastic program. So if you're looking for a non-traditional way to give, even though times are tight and money might be tight in your own wallet, that's a great way to give while giving your kids the back-to-school haircut. So thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. Tanya, are there any other programs, if budgets are tight now, are there any other programs into the fall that people might be able to participate in?
Absolutely. While we wrap up back to school, we'll be rolling into our holiday sharing program, which is a huge program for the county and for the Department of Social Services. And so you can give us a call at 410-269-4462. You can also send in cash donations for that program as well. But what that program does is, just like back to school, we match a donor with a family who is receiving food stamps or temporary cash assistance, and the donor delivers food for Thanksgiving directly to the home or to the senior as well. And then for Christmas, we provide food and gifts.
Fantastic. Well, I'm so glad that the Back to School Backpack program has been such a success. There's still a little bit of need left, a lot of need left in the county. So please do consider reaching out to Tanya's team and providing for students such as Principal Latimer's here at Marley Elementary. Thank you both so much, and hope best of success for a good school year and for the rest of the programming throughout the year.
Thanks, Marina. Again, the number is 410-222-4462. You can help make sure that kids show up to school ready to learn. Back to school already, Erik.
Whoa, school is coming.
That's coming even sooner than taxes.
You're right about that.
Are your
a
kids
week and
ready?
A half. Well, my daughter starts kindergarten.
Oh, it's a
big
step.
Big step.
Yeah.
But you know, kindergarten, you imagine kindergarten, they've got, what, 12, 13 more years of school to go through, and then they're off to college. And speaking of college,
yes,
this is the time of year where you get a lot of those seniors that just graduated, and they probably had one of the best, most memorable summers of their lives. That senior year, to college year, just a great time.
It was one of my favorite summers.
Mine as well.
Growing up.
But think about that. Think back to when that was. I know it wasn't that long ago for you.
Maybe 4 years or so.
Maybe 4 years. That's why you're not eligible for that senior center tax thing.
Yeah.
But think about that. I mean, you went away to college. What were some of your emotions as you left high school? Everything is very structured, and you're going into college. Did you live on campus?
I didn't. I went to college in the same town I grew up in.
Okay.
So I said it backwards. I did live on campus. I didn't live at home. I guess that's the question that I always get, because people say, oh, you grew up there. Did you end up living at home? But no, I lived in the dorms. I thought it was, important to live in the dorms, and I had a scholarship that covered my room and board. So I was moving out. And
so when you moved all of your stuff in, I mean, that had to have been a big day. Your first time really away from home. You were excited.
Yeah.
Because you get those mixed emotions. Some people really excited, some people scared, some people nervous. I mean, but that's good. You were excited.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good experience. I met, a couple of my best friends to this day. One lived across the hall, one lived next door. So, yeah. And what about you? Because after high school,
I went in the military. Went right in the military, and I did a college tour. I went around and saw all my friends that had went away to college. Cornell, Salisbury, South Carolina. So that was fun.
The Erik Robey College Tour.
The Erik Robey College Tour. It was good. I should have videotaped it and made a documentary of it. But no, I did it a little untraditional. I went in the military and actually was able to finish most of my college while I was actually in the military. So it was great to be working at night, coming home and sleeping, studying, going to class, going back to work. I mean, it was tough, but it was definitely well worth it.
Big change.
Big change.
From high school.
But the big question that everybody has out there, because everybody's, I know, calling in right now asking this, did you take your laundry home to mom?
Yes.
We love it. We love it. At least she's honest, folks.
Yes. Sunday dinners in my house were mandatory. So
that's good.
Everybody, no matter what you were doing,
to eat and bring your laundry.
I showed up on Sunday nights with my laundry, and I brought some of my roommates along, you know, and my brothers would come home and bring their friends and girlfriends and things like that. So it would be, you know, a fun night. Everyone would come back together. And
that's a good Michigan night,
folks. That's right.
Well, that wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode online anytime at www.aacounty.org. Archive episodes are available at blip.tv and now on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the free video podcast at iTunes. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around your county. We'll see you next time.